Okay. Here to everybody. Welcome to another Hellenic Pagan video. This one being number 33. Hellenic Pagans videos is brought to you by the ancient Hellenic Fellowship of Mystics, recorded at Agape Prophet House in Larissa, Greece, Hellas. And my name is Evan Evangelos, Evan Rigakis, and I am your administrator. Before I get started with this video, I wanted to say thank you to everybody for all your kind words. It really means a lot to me because I'm just glad that my videos are appreciated, and I'm not doing this for nothing. You know, I really want to help everybody, and of course, I'm not used to compliments. My life has not been the best, but so when I do get compliments, I feel very, I don't know, awkward. So, but I do need to say thank you, and I do appreciate it so much. So let's get into this. This one is using crystals and precious stones. Now, the use of crystals and precious stones is generally overlooked in Hellenic paganism and in paganism in general, I would think. You don't really hear about the ancient Greeks so much, but the ancient Greeks did use stone and crystal, though very little evidence, of course, has survived the onslaught of the notorious Christian church. So, but what has survived is one of the, there's a fragment of a small piece of a work called Lithi. Lithi just means stone. And it was found among the Orphic writings. So it was said to have been written by Orpheus. But this is what that is. And it speaks about the properties of crystals and stones. Not very much, because it's only a fragment. Of course, we know the ancient Greeks used pieces of meteors that would have hit our places here, and they would find these meteors and use them in their sacred places and stuff like that. For example, the Mystery Center on the island of Samothrace, they found a lodestone, and of course it mysteriously went missing. Not pointing fingers, but anyways. The famous navel of the world, Omphalos in Delphi. It's actually crowned, like there's a flat piece right on top, and on top of that, it was said that they would have a very large piece of meteor on top of it. And that, of course, mysteriously disappeared. It went missing. who knows? So there's that. Then, of course, there is marble. And marble is related to the crystalline family. So that's why you get many, we've gotten many, but you'll get many reports of touching the ancient marbles and feeling a great energy. Depending on how sensitive you are, I've seen reports that as soon as you walk among them, that's why I would take off my shoes all the time and walk on the marble. And feel that energy is just incredible. I then figured out, wait a minute, marble is a crystal, and then it all made sense. But of course, crystals were also part of the oracle tradition. Today we call that scrying or crystal gazing. Today, crystal and stone play an essential role in our tradition, the Hellenic pagan mystery tradition, especially in the initiation process of the mysteries. Today, everybody knows about crystals and stones, more or less, but few know how to use them properly to receive their full benefit. When working with crystal or stone, it must be kept in mind, the crystals especially, that they are energy in solid format. They also are alive because crystals grow. So it's a living organism as well. They work by mingling with your own energies and act as amplifiers. Certain skills are required, of course. Above all else, you must know how to meditate, which is fundamentally, it's fundamental in whatever you do, really. You should also have some sensitivity training to be able to feel energy. And not only feel energy, but be able to work with the energy. A good working knowledge of chakras or power centers and energy work is also a very big plus. Remember that the practice of rituals is essentially the working of energies. So the more you perform a ritual, the more you're actually working energy. Okay, so there are a lot of modern and traditional methods in using crystal and stone. First, what I'm going to describe to you is what I've learned and how I learned it, and so it's more traditional, because I'm an old geezer, right? Yeah, okay. Right, okay. So first the crystal or stone must be cleansed of any foreign energies. So to cleanse the crystal or stone, place it in the freezer for 24 hours, then wash it with clean water and salt. Allow it to air dry, and then wrap it in dark virgin cloth. Virgin meaning it's not, the cloth hasn't been used for anything else. The crystal or stone is then charged, usually using the sun, being placed in direct sunlight for a full day. From, careful now, from sun up to sundown. That's a full day. Before the sun is completely gone, the crystal must be, or stone is wrapped in the cloth again. In some cases, it is necessary to charge it with the moon instead again. Instead. Again, placed in direct moonlight for a full night from dusk to dawn. That's a movie, by the way. Before the sun rises, the crystal or stone is wrapped in the cloth. So that charges it. The crystal or stone must then be programmed to serve its purpose. Now, there is a ritual for programming a crystal or a stone, and of course it's found in my book, so if you want to know, you got to buy the book. But basically, all it is coming into a quiet meditative state, pressing the crystal or stone to your forehead or other chakra, and visualizing the purpose you have for the crystal or stone for at least 15 minutes per day. The longer you do it, the better, but 15 minutes is really the absolute minimum. This must be done every night or every day for 33 consecutive nights or days. It is quite involved, but the results are really undeniable. In your research of crystals and stones, you may come across to use a crystal, its energies must be activated. But this is just a fancy way of saying to heat the crystal. Active crystal will warm up, even get a little hot. Energy, when it's working, creates heat. Body heat, because of your energy. We are understanding, we're on the same page, right? Okay. Activating the energies or heating the crystal happens by just holding it in your hands, and your own body heat, your own bioenergy heats up the crystal. Rolling it in your hands, will help the heating. Some will also use a flame of a candle, but there is a warning. Overheating the crystal may be damaging. So you don't want to get it too hot that you can't even hold it. But again, the best way is by your own hands. There are far too many uses to list them all here, but I will give you a couple of uncommon uses to show what is possible. crystal or stone made into a ritual instrument for tracing pentagrams or sigils or symbols or whatever you might have to trace. Usually we use what's called a laser wand, which I have one. Well, I have a few lying around, but should have thought of it before I started the video, you know? No, you don't know where it is. No. Okay, so sorry for that, but for tracing pentagrams, sigils, or symbols for invocation or banishing in the ritual. Traditionally, the instrument used for tracing would be a sword or a dagger or a wand or staff. For tracing the crystal would be in the shape of a laser wand, like I said. Okay, yeah. So when you do actually use the laser wand to trace, activate it before you use it. Warm it up in your hands or use a candle. Understand? I'll drink my coffee now. Hold on. Okay. So, yeah, most gods and goddesses have a corresponding crystal, gem, or stone. So that you could. There's a lot of books that actually tell you these things. These are used to amplify the essence of the god in the crystal or stone. Some have found it quite useful to do the same with their statues, amplifying the essence of the god within the statue, as well as placing the crystal or stone with the same programming before the statue. Most beneficial in the worship, true that. Okay. Finally, there is one technique of programming I have used a number of times that I have truly benefited from in more ways than one. The technique of creating an energy network or circuit. This is done by programming one main large crystal, then connecting smaller crystals or stones to that one large one. The main crystal acts as the hub and the smaller as the spokes of an energy wheel or circuit. So how would you use this? What I did was to program the main crystal to partake in the energies of the ancient sites and to provide an open channel of communication with the ancients themselves, that I may communicate and gain knowledge. So that's what I did. Then I connected many smaller crystals to that main crystal, and every ancient site that I went to, I would leave one of these satellite crystals somewhere in the site. It doesn't matter where exactly, but it is good to have it in marble, and that way you're hooking up to everything. The result was and is overwhelming. It actually produced the 3 volumes of Thirskia, as well as other works. So very, very beneficial. And it really gives you an idea of what you could really do. I mean, you know, the sky's the limit. I mean, there's so many different ways you can do this. So it would be good for you to do some research, but keep these guidelines so that, because not every book, not everybody tells the right interpretation, and that might mix you up a little bit. But try and work with it the way it suits you best. Okay? Okay. Well, I hope this video helps you in your own practices. And if you never considered using crystals and stone, I hope this video makes you reconsider. Thank you for staying until the end. Please share, like, and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. I hope you do like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.